Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this self-closing box. It's a beautiful unusual shape and you just squeeze the top and that opens so that you can get your goodies out or put goodies in, and to close it you just pinch it like that. I was inspired to make this by this one here, and this is one that I made for a class back in October last year. When I was preparing for last week's craft show, I sorted through a lot of gift boxes that I've made previously and decided that I was going to have a display of them on my table for the craft show. And these, I had two of these. There was this one and another one the same but different design paper on it. And they were just so popular that I thought, well, I'll make some more because I've got another craft show coming up in a week's time. And of course, when I'm making it, I'm thinking, well, let's make a video as well. So this is what I'm going to do. To start off with, the card pieces that you're going to need, and I'm going to be using Mint Macaroon as my main colour. And this measures 8.5 inches by 6 inches, which is 21.5 centimetres by 15.2 centimetres. You'll need 2 pieces of designer series paper, and this is from Presents and Pinecones, and these are 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. Then you'll need a scrap of Mint Macaroon for the backing of the sentiment, and a piece of Whisper White for the actual sentiment. I want to show you one other before I carry on, because this I did a little bit differently. I actually embossed these straight onto the cardstock. So what I'm going to do is, when I get to the part where I did this, I'm going to explain to you what I did to achieve this one before I carry on doing this. Okay? Right, so to start off with, we need to score this piece of cardstock, and I just want to remind all my online customers that during November 2016 I am running a prize draw to win one of these scoreboards. I'll give you full details at the end. Right, so to start off with your cardstock in portrait, now I'm going to use wax paper on this to help my stylus slide a bit better. I have tried lots of other different ways of doing this, but I do find this is the best for me. Right, so for scoring, the first is in inches. You're going to do 1 inch and 5 inches, and in centimetres that's 2.5 centimetres and 12.7 centimetres. And then you're going to turn and have your cardstock in landscape, and you're going to score at 4 inches and 8 inches, and in metric that is 10.1 centimetres and 20.2 centimetres. And then you're going to go back to the 2 inches or the 5.05 centimetres and score down just to this line here. Okay, and then you're going to along to the 6 inch mark, which is 15.15 centimetres, and draw down, score down rather, to the score line down here again. Okay, so that's all you need your scoreboard for. In fact, no, you need the score tool. Now we need to do some diagonal lines, and I'm using my piercing mat underneath here. I think you can see the score lines quite nicely here. So if I can just say that with this line here, I'm going to refer to this as a T-junction. This one and this one I'm going to refer to as crossroads. This is also a T-junction up here, where that one comes down to here. And then this one down here is going to be a no entry, okay, because it stops. So that's my little way of explaining where you're going to be doing your score lines. So with a ruler, if you use the thinner end of your stylus and put it at the junction of the T-junction, and then put your ruler up against the edge, and then twist your ruler round until you come to the centre of the crossroads. Now, to make sure that you are at the centre, put your stylus right at the centre there, and then move your ruler against it, but holding this one firm here. Okay, so that's okay. Come back, double check that. I've moved slightly, so I need to move back again. And then that one. Okay, so I'm happy that I've got my ruler in exactly the correct position. So get my finger out of the way, and I'm going to score from the T-junction down to the crossroad. Now I'm going to do the same here, from this T-junction down to this crossroad. So, let's do it the same as before. At the T-junction, I put my thin end of my stylus, and then I come down to the crossroads, move my ruler up against my stylus, double check that I've still got this one correct, and then when I'm happy, score. Okay, now from this T-junction I'm going to put my stylus right in the centre, move my ruler round to the crossroads. I'm holding this one still, and I'm going down to here, put that in the centre, move my ruler against it, come back and check this to make sure I haven't moved, which feels I have done slightly. That's it. Right, once you're happy, then score. And then the last one is a bit more difficult because this is the no entry, the cul-de-sac, end of the road. You need to have your ruler very, very slightly up from that line, because you can't put your stylus down here on your mat. So first of all, if you get your stylus into your T-junction and bring your ruler round, making sure you hold this one in place, and then you've got to get your stylus right onto the edge where the no entry stops. Okay, you've got to get that as a point there. So do a little test like that. That looks as if I've got there. And then when you score, score down towards it. Don't try scoring up. The reason I say that is because I think it may be easy to tear your paper. Okay, so that should be all the scoring that is needed. You see, and that looks torn, but it isn't, it's just dented. Okay. Right, now before I go on, I'm going to explain to you about the embossed one that I did. I got this far, and then I used my embossing buddy over here. Where you've got the triangle this way, this is going to be the top of your box. Okay, so you can do any kind of specific embossing from this point. If you wanted to do an all over embossed pattern, you could do that right from the very beginning. So you start off with patterned paper. But if you wanted to do something like this, go over with your embossing buddy, stamp with Versamark on each of them. I did all 6 of them at the same time, and then I sprinkled my embossing powder on, and then I heat set it, and then I carried on. Okay, so that's if you want to do that kind of design. Now we need to cut, and what we're going to do is on the bottom here where we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 score lines coming down, we're going to cut up on all of them, and we want to do a very slight mitre on both sides, but we don't want it on this end piece and we don't want it on this piece here. Okay, so I tell you, this is a no-no. This one right at the end here, this has got to be straight, and we're actually going to cut that one off, so you can mitre it this side, but that one has got to be straight. No mitre there. Now these we can mitre a little bit. You'll see when we come to put the bottom of the box together why it's easier if you do it like this. Okay, so I'm leaving that one straight, and I'm leaving that one straight. No, that's not right, is it? It's not this end, it's this end. I've got to leave it straight. Yeah, go back. We can mitre the bottom on this one. It's on the top we mustn't. Okay, so I've mitred all of the bottom ones all the way along. Now this is the one we mustn't, because this is the top. If I show you why we mustn't, I did it. You can learn by my mistakes, of course. You see, I mitred it there, which meant that didn't close up properly, and you don't want that to happen. Did I do that one correctly? Yep, that one's correct. I didn't mitre it there, so they're both finishing at the same place because I cut it straight. Okay, so this is the one you need to cut straight, but you still need to cut it off, and you can still mitre the bit underneath. Okay, so I'm going to have a straight edge there and the straight edge there. Right, now we are going to fold on our score lines, and we're going to give them a good burnish. The original idea for this, the first time I saw it on a video by Frenchie, who I used to watch all the time. I don't seem to have so much time nowadays, but Frenchie was definitely one of my favourites. Well, she's still one of my favourites when I do watch videos. Right, okay, so they're the normal ones, the straight lines. Now we need to do the same to the diagonal lines. Now what you'll find now is it's quite easy to do, but you don't need to create any extra folds because the box will help you. So when you've got the bottom ones here, you'll find that where you're folding, it will just separate for you like that. This one is okay because there's nothing down here to get in the way. Now this one, when you fold it, now this is going to be alright again, this end, and that will fold, but you don't need to get a crease either side. Those sides will curl. Okay, so as I'm pushing that over, you see this will come up, There is no crease, no crease. I'm going to turn it round again, do this side, and again the end one's not so bad, and of course you've got that cut line there to help that one. And again with this one, that side's okay because you've got a cut flap, and then as you fold this one, it will just lift and curl slightly so that you can burnish without getting any extra creases anywhere. Alright. Now next, I find it easiest to do the decoration on here. On Frenchie's video, she suggested that we had pieces of paper, DSP, that measured 3 3/4 inches square. I tried it by doing it 3 7/8 square, and it does work. You just get less of a gap. See, my very vanilla gap there is smaller than my real red gap there. So the choice is yours. If you like the bigger gap, you want 3 3/4 inches. If you prefer the narrower gap, you need 3 7/8. I'm going for the narrower one. And for this you need your trimmer. Also, if you use a directional pattern, that's not a trimmer, that's a scoreboard. Let's try again. You need your trimmer. That's this one. Right, okay. Right, directional pattern, like this one. Okay, it matters whether it's up the right way or not. So what you need to do is to make sure that where you put your paper in here to start cutting, make sure that you put your paper in upside down. Okay? And the other thing I suggest you do is when you choose which paper you're using, choose something that you like the reverse side of it as well. So if you mess up, you can use the other side instead. No, I haven't made that mistake. Right, okay. Now, what you need to do before you do that is just very carefully fold this in half, make sure your corners meet, and just very, very gently pinch that bit there. And then once you've pinched that, just do a little pencil mark on it, like that, and again for this one. Okay, and is that the same size? Yeah. Okay, so that's folded in half again. Got my corners together and just pinching that little bit. It's only to find the halfway mark, which on this, my piece, which is 3 7/8, the halfway mark should be, I thought I'd written it down. Oh, I did, didn't I, on that piece of paper that I threw away. Oh well, never mind. 1 15/16 of an inch. Okay, so if you want to measure that, which is on the scoreboard actually. Let's see if I've got that right. 1 15/16. Yeah, there we go, look. But it did start getting a bit dodgy when I was trying to measure the centimetres on this, so I do recommend that you double check those before you actually start cutting. So what we need to do, making sure, as I say, if you've got a directional pattern, this is the top of your pattern, okay, so your pattern is facing that way. Right, so you put that pencil mark in your cutting groove and you spin this round so that point comes into the cutting groove as well. And when you're happy that that pencil mark and that are both in there, then you can slice. And then turn it round the other way, pencil mark into the cutting groove, this corner into the cutting groove. and then slice. I tried doing what Frenchie did, which was she did both pieces at the same time, but mine didn't work. Hers did. I finished up with a bit of a square tip on one of these. Okay, so I'm lining up my pencil mark into the cutting groove. This is in the cutting groove. Blade down this end, cut. And then again, pencil mark in the cutting groove. Corner into the cutting groove. Okay, so there's those. If you keep the pieces together, particularly on a pattern like I have, you'll be able to put them together as they were originally, so they match up on your box. It might not matter to you, in which case don't worry about it, just ignore what I've just said. Right, okay, now we're going to adhere this to our box, and you will find it's a lot easier now that you've got these lines to guide you. Okay, so let's turn that round the other way. So hopefully if you've got a directional pattern, you're now looking at it correctly. So we're going to put that like that. As you can see, it fits in very, very closely if you do my smaller measurement. Now I'm going to use Tombow. You could use any glue that you like. The only thing I would say is when you're gluing this, if you take your glue close to the edge of your designer series paper, and then when you've done, without squeezing, just take the nozzle and make sure you get glue right into the tips. Okay, I'm not squeezing, I'm just moving the glue into the corner there. There we are. So the corners will be stuck down really nicely. Now I need to do the same to these. Again, without squeezing, I'm just pushing the glue into the corners. Okay, you can see that really is very, very close. You may not like that look. So 3 3/4 inch squares would be better suited for you. Right, not squeezing, just moving the glue to the corners. Okay. So just these 3 pieces now. No, not squeezing, just moving the glue to the corners. And these two. For such a really beautiful box, it is so easy to make. I do have one other one to show you before I finish the video. In fact, while you're watching this, I might as well tell you about the prize draw. For every £50 you spend in my online shop during November, your name will be entered into the prize draw to win one of our scoreboards. The totals of if you put more than one order in, the totals are cumulative. So if you place more than one order during the month, I'll add the amounts together to find out how many entries you're entitled to. And also don't forget, we've got online extravaganza as well, starting on the 21st of November. I've already sent out the flyer to all of my customers. If you don't have a demonstrator and you're in the European market, being Netherlands, UK, Austria, France and Germany, email me and I'll be quite happy to send you a copy of the flyer. So November is obviously a good month to be shopping with me and Stampin' Up. There we go. Right. Now to seal the box up, I'm going to use sticky strip, because this is a box that's going to be continually opened and squeezed like that, and I just feel that this is possibly the best option. I imagine fast fuse will probably work. Tom will definitely work. Tom, there we go again. Tombow will definitely work. But I'm using red sticky strip. Non-stick scissors, there we go. And I'm just going to put another layer on, but I'm just going up close to the fold. I'm not going literally right up to the fold, just in case when I fold this bit over, if it doesn't come right to the edge, which it should do, if it doesn't, then I won't have glue exposed if I haven't gone right to the edge. Okay, gone a little bit over there, so just trim that off. And a little bit over there, so I trim that one off as well. Just run my finger down, make sure that's stuck nicely. And then with my paper piercer, I'm going to lift one piece up. In fact, let's turn that round. Maybe that I've overlapped those two layers. Yes, I have slightly, but it doesn't matter. Right, so fold that over, and all I'm going to do is fold this on top. Now I'm going to make sure that this is adhered down nicely, and it's a bit funny to do this, so what you need to do is, if you open this from here, give it a gentle squeeze, not too far, and then you can see where the seam is, so you can run your foam folder down there, and you can do it from this edge as well. There we go. So that's all nicely closed. Now, if you fold your box at the bottom, you've got 2 down and then 2 down. You find that it tends to go walkabouts. This is probably the most tricky bit of it. It's not particularly difficult, but you just need to keep an eye on it. What I do is I try those 2 down first, and then I try the other 2 down first, because I normally find one side fits better than the other side. Like you see, there's a gap between those 2, very, very slightly. But if I have these 2 on top, they meet up perfectly. And therefore, the perfect ones, is better to have those on the inside of the box, so that when you put glue on the smaller ones, it's not going to go through any gap, because there isn't any gap. You've put the one down there that doesn't have a gap. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to use red sticky strip, and I'm just going to put one line across here. Normally I would use Tombow on this. She stops to think the words she's saying. But if it leaks out, it'd be almost impossible to get inside the box to get rid of the stickiness. Okay, so there's that. Just run my finger down there. I will take both these off at the same time. The bottom of the box, by the nature of the shape of this, is not totally flat. It will stand up, but there is a very slight wobble to it. It's not a mistake. It's not something that you've done. Personally, I think it's impossible to get it with a totally flat bottom, if you pardon the expression. And I'll show you why I say that. Okay, so those 2 are going over. They're the 2 that close up totally. Now I'm going to put these 2 on, and I'm just holding it gently to get it to get a grip, which it will do very slightly. Then I'm going to turn it upside down, open it, then I'm going to use my bone folder to push and make sure they are properly stuck. Now what I mean with the bottom of the box, I don't know if I can, yes I can, you can see that that is warped. Okay, now the only way you can get that straight is by pushing this. Okay, that's the only time that this box will have a straight base. As soon as you let it go again, it goes warped. But as you can see, it does stand, but it's just a little bit of a wobble there, that's all. Okay, just wanted to say that because I don't want you to think you've made a mistake when you've got a wobbly base. Right, all I need to do now is the sentiment, and I'm using, I love this, You'll Love This. Isn't that clever? I think that's really absolutely superb, because it's going to be a gift. So right, what colour, oh I need to bring the ink over, don't I? So excuse me while I just get my mint macaroon ink. Right, there we go. I have my scrap of paper, I have my ink, my stamp ready. It's a photopolymer, my favourite sort. It looks a bit bubbly. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's okay. Is it? No. Let's try that again. What I'm going to do is just stamp it down quickly and lift it up. I think it's too juicy. I'd forgotten that I had this as a problem with it. Oh, that's alright. That's much better. If it's too juicy and you hold it down too long, it spreads out a bit. I mean, not so bad when it dries, but there should be stitches around that heart. At least they've turned out dark on that one. Right, now I'm going to use my Big Shot just to die cut these. And for the sentiment, I'm using one of the beautiful new stitched oval framelits. Just absolutely love these. And this fits in really nicely. If you get your positioning right, nothing touches the edge. And then this one's from the layering oval framelits. And these stitched framelits, the ovals, the squares and the circles, they all fit in with these. Although the stitched framelits aren't going to be officially launched until the new annual catalogue comes out on the 1st of June next year, they have been launched early, so they are available now. Right, so let's just move that back out of the way. I'm going to put these together with Tombow. Oh, which was the right one? Which was the wrong one? Oh, yes. This fits on so nicely. Isn't that lovely? Let me bring that up close so you can see the stitching on that. Isn't that just so stunning? I love them. Now all I need to do is I'm going to pop that on there again with Tombow. You could use dimensionals if you like. But I'm going to pop that on there. And I'm just going to open this up so that I can put a little bit of pressure on there. That's it. And I'm going to put one of our little trinkets on here. I think I will use the bells. And what I used was our silver, what are we calling this? Silver 1/8 inch ribbon. And what I did was I just pushed this to go through. I found the bells was easiest to do, although I have done it to all three. And then just cut some off. Now to get a nice, I can't do a bow on this because it came up too chunky. So what I did was I made sure that I've got my ribbon straight, and then keeping it straight, overlap those so you've got like the breast cancer bow, everything straight. Fold that under and then pull it. Pull it reasonably tight but not too tight, and try and keep it so that it stays at the top of the ring. And then you should finish up with a nice straight line like that on your ribbon. Okay. Always check what you've got on the other side in case that looks any better. Mine doesn't. In fact, let me tilt that a bit. You can't really see it. You can see it a bit there. But trust me, that one doesn't look as nice as this side. So all I'm going to do now is just fold it like that, cut that at an angle, then I'm turning it over and doing exactly the same to that side. That's a bit shorter than the other one, isn't it? We're not going to worry about that though. And I'm going to get a glue dot and pop that on the back on this side. The beauty of these bells and also the holly, I think, it's the same back and front, so it doesn't matter which way you would put it onto. Sorry, which way you put it on here, which side you put your glue dot on, but it does matter on the little gingerbread man. He's got design on that side, but not on that side. Okay, but the holly and the bells are both sided, which is really nice and convenient. So there we go. That is today's project. The other one I wanted to show you, just to show you it does actually work. Okay, and then just close it, just give it a little. Alright, so that's that one, that's that one, and this one is what I've made using our oh, I can't think of the name of it. It's embossed, our dry embossed sheets, our 12x12 sheets, which is called Fancy Frost Specialty Designer Series paper. Okay, so that's already got all its pattern on there. So what I did was I stamped the same sentiment in Versamark, heat embossed it with silver embossing powder, did a layer in silver foil, and then popped that on top. So there was that one. That one I've shown you. That's very much like that. And of course, my religious theme. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. Really, really easy. Do give it a go. It's lovely. Many thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, please leave a message in the comment in the box below. I'm always happy to help you, or you can email me at janb@janbcards.com. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, apart from the red sticky strip, which unfortunately we don't sell anymore, there will be a link for my 24/7 online shop in the box below. And if you've enjoyed my video, please click on the subscribe button so you'll be notified every time I upload another video, which is normally on Wednesdays and Sundays. Finally, I'll be putting all the measurements and the products that I've used on the screen, but if you're watching on a device that doesn't show that, if you click on show more below, the box will open and all the details will be down there. And don't forget about November prize draw, and don't forget about the online extravaganza, which will be running from 21st November 2016 until the 28th. There are loads of really good offers going to be available. Watch out for that. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.